This is Niagara Falls. This is some old shots of a book we bought that had old pictures of Niagara Falls. And I just zoomed in on some of these. See, I had music all picked out. I was going to put music under this thing. And I don't even know where my notes are for it, where the music was. That's Goat Island. That's the American Falls. This is the American Falls on the left. The Horseshoe Falls in the distance. The Maid of the Mist was going, as you could see there. These are all old photos in that. Old drawings. These are drawings, it's a couple centuries old, not all that accurate, of Niagara Falls. And then I tried to get to just about the same place. Of course, this shot we've seen many times. There's the elevator on the American side. It's hard to see. We've got more shots of this that we took last year. Last August, we spent more time on the American side. With our church group, New Vision group in 2013, we were almost exclusively on the Canadian side.
We spent about an hour on the American side when we were going to the airport. Remember, he dropped us off.
Yeah. And this, I had forgotten how really nice the American side is. You have to go over to Goat Island, which is what's right there. And boy, there are some spectacular views of the falls from Goat Island, which is between the two falls there. There's the Maid of the Mist. That's the big old Horseshoe Falls, Canadian Falls. There's the snapshot my sweetie took. This was after our Maid of the Mist thing. And you could see a little water damage on the film there. And that water damage was because I was shooting movies with this old camera from the Maid of the Mist. And the camera got wet. And there's the old story of when we went to take our raincoats off. I went to the men's room. Betty Lou went to the ladies' room. And she waited and waited and waited. And she thought, what in the world happened to my husband? He's spending so much time in the men's room taking his raincoat off. And Now you get to keep your raincoats, but back then you had to take them off and
They were so big.
turn them in.
Yeah. You had to turn them.
And so when I come out, I said, well, my camera got wet, and I was holding it under the hot air blow dryer in the men's room to dry it. And the comical thing was that this is the base of the Skylon Tower. The comical thing was that when I finished drying my camera under the hot air blower, there were several other men with cameras waiting in line behind me. And I didn't have to wait in line because nobody was in front of me drying cameras. So I have to think that I probably originated that idea of drying your camera under the hot air blower. Not a good idea to get your camera wet. I had to send it to Kodak and have it refurbished after that.
What were you trying to do?
I don't know. I was trying to go flag by flag.
Mm.
That didn't work out all that well. That was on the deck of the...
Made of the Mist.
No, that was on the deck of the Skylon Tower.
Oh.
Not up in the tower. That was on the top of the... Now we're up in the tower. This is the Skylon. And that's me with the camera there, reflected. You'll see it in a minute. Reflected in the glass. Where you go into the insides of the restaurant. See, that's Goat Island on the left there. It
looks so much different now, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've done wonders with it now. And in our New Vision class, we have a couple, and he is from Niagara Falls, New York. Matt Robleski is from Niagara Falls, New York.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if his wife is.
I don't think so.
But he is, and he did not go back with us in 2013. And he has no desire whatsoever to go back there.
Oh.
I love it back there. No, I don't. Oh, you know what this is? We're coming down in the elevator from the Skylon. See it
I do.
flattening out as we're getting there. Here come the trees. And there we are. Now we're going down. This is how you got down to the Maid of the Mist back then. Came down on this little railway.
It was a funicular or something like that?
They call
like a
cog railway or something.
Yeah. I think it was called a funicular.
And now I'm on the Maid of the Mist. This is where I got the camera wet. See? No. We're not on the Maid of the Mist yet.
No, we're taking the walk behind the falls.
Yeah. Now some of the people in our group did this. They thought it was spectacular.
Yeah, you got to do that at once.
Yeah. That's the Horseshoe Falls, right from the edge.
Well, and this is the first time in 1970 that Bob did any of these things.
Yeah.
The Maid of the Mist.
As long as I lived in East Aurora, New York, 45-minute drive from the falls. I never did the Maid of the Mist. I never saw the falls with the lights on at night.
You didn't walk under the falls, behind the falls.
No.
That's what that is. And when he took me back, we did it all.
Yeah. Is this? No, this still is not the Maid of the Mist.
Mm-mm. This is behind the falls. Can't see who it is.
Oh yeah, this is where you walk down that tunnel,
Yeah.
and you're right smack dab.
The water.
Now this is the Maid of the Mist landing. This was shot with that little camera, that little Kodak movie camera that your folks gave us, remember? Before I got my Bauer.
Yeah.
It was not my Bauer that I
this was my folks'
that I
camera.
got wet. It was the
Kodak.
little Kodak. There's the border between the USA and Canada on the Rainbow Bridge.
See, there's no bridge.
That's the elevator there.
I know, it's just chicken.
Here comes the Maid of the Mist, and we're going to get on it. The Maid of the Mist no longer goes from the Canadian side. I don't know what happened, but at this time, we're on the, I think on the Canadian side. But we took the Maid of the Mist from the American side, because when I've got that shot of you, see the boat's coming in, and now this is from the book that I bought. But later on, when I get that shot of you on the boat, we're on the American side. We are. Because you can see.
Well, it goes around by both of them.
I know, but you can take at that time, you could take the boat from the Canadian side or from the American side.
Yeah, I don't remember which
And
we did.
No longer is it possible. Last year, I think at the end of 2013, beginning of the 2014 season, the Maid of the Mist, see, it's on, of course, that's the Canadian flag.
We're on
But it's on the
Canadian time.
American side. I didn't we go over to the American side because the Canadian side was so crowded?
I don't remember, honey.
Anyway,
We've been so many times.
Yeah. Now we're on the boat, on the Maid of the Mist. But at the end of the 2013 season, you could no longer take the Maid of the Mist from the Canadian side. It's called Hornblower Tours. There's my sweetie. It's called Hornblower Tours, and it just isn't the same. If you take the boat from the Canadian side, there's the old power plant.
Did we take Hornblower? No, in 2013.
In
we had
2013, the Maid of the Mist was still on both sides.
Yeah.
But at the end of that season, for some reason, they closed. The Maid of the Mist Corporation closed the Canadian side, and it's now known as Hornblower Tours. And the Maid of the Mist still goes only from the American side. Now that's the American Falls, because you just can't get close enough. There's too much wind, there's too much mist, it's too wet by the time you're getting up to the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. So, we're getting close. to the end, I think. Back in 1970, see, I came to California in 1966. So this was like my first time back. So we went to all these places, and I brought my trusty movie camera and took Betty Lou to East Aurora. And this is from the Maid of the Mist. This is coming into the dock. Oh, and this is the cable car. I tried to zoom in on the snapshot and cut to the cable car so that it was in the same place on the screen where the cut came.
That's over the Whirlpool Rapids.
Yeah, easier done with a computer than not. And of course, this is not the cable car trip we were on, because now we're getting on the car. I noticed there were two guides on the cable car.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, there's two of them on there. Back in 2013 when we did it, there was only one. This is the Whirlpool Rapids. Both ends of this cable car are on the Canadian side. It doesn't go across the river. It goes across this, like a bay or something.
See, there's people up there.
Yeah. This is the other end. I don't know if in 1970 if it went from both ends or not.
See, yeah, there's the double cable. I don't know.
Well, this is back from where we left.
Oh, yeah.
I think at one time you could take the cable car from both ends, but I don't know about now. Oh, and this is the rapids. This is the rapids downriver from the falls. And these are vehicles that were used by daredevils to shoot the rapids, not to go over the falls.
No.
But just to shoot the rapids. Now there's Bob and Nooks Marsteller and Darlene.
And their dog.
Yeah,
is that C&D?
No, that's not C&D. This is I don't know what the dog's name was, but we stayed with them for a while too.
Did we? I don't remember staying with Bob and Nooks.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know if it was on this trip.
I think you stayed with them.
I remember staying in their basement with them, and remember they finished off their basement. You went down.
Well, maybe
on the stairs, on the basement stairs. Of course, they didn't have an escalator, so you had to use the stairs. This, I think, is their dog. This is their backyard. I can remember when their house was built. A lot of us folks from the church helped them with their house. Oh, there's my sweetie.
Oh, this is one of those gazing
This is one
balls.
of my artistic
endeavors.
Artistic endeavors. That was my sweetie's reflection in a, what do they call those
gazing
things?
Ball, or one of those.
I think you see it in a
balls.
minute. I don't know why I didn't shoot a picture of it.
We have one in the backyard now. A mirrored ball.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't shoot a picture of the ball. There's Dwight Johnson, and that's Darlene, Barbara. That's Dwight's sister-in-law, Barbara's sister.
I remember staying with Dwight and Barbara, but I don't remember staying with the Marstellers.
There's Barbara. I don't remember.
You could have stayed with them when you were there when your grandpa passed away.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
I don't remember staying.
There comes the dog. And the dog brings his stick back to Dwight. And there's our last waterfall. And that's the park right near the Marstillers. Oh, and then I thought I'd give it an artsy. There's me and my dad, my grandfather. Oh, we've got that. Didn't take any movies of Grandpa. And these are, see, I'm just doing a very artsy, craftsy thing. And I hope everyone appreciates it. With my camera, my movie camera set up on a tripod, and these are just our snapshots. See, if you'll notice, I'm going backwards through the movie.
Trip.
Through the trip. I'm going backwards. Now we're back at Houghton.
Wow.
Now we're back at the... And that was a mistake. These are all crossfades except that one. Yeah, it fades out and back in because I goofed. And I said, to heck with it, I'm not going to do this again. There's Betty Lou and Grandpa. TWA, Cook's Forest, back to Pennsylvania. See, we're going through the movie backwards.
All right.
Isn't that clever?
Oh, yeah. I'm in awe.
You're in awe. And that, I guess, is, what was that, Pittsburgh?
That was Pittsburgh. This is why I know I flew by myself.
Yeah. And there she is, and I fade out, and that's the end of the movie.